students. All right, today's lesson is going to be kind of easier. We're going to take everything we've talked about and apply it to something in the real world. So this is a reading challenge. So first we're going to read this beginning part, right? It says, searching for medicinal, right? So the way to kind of pick apart this word is this is taken from the word medicine, and they add the al at the end. So that's why you pronounce the C as a S sound. So it's medicine, but we use it to make the word medicinal plants. Right, so medicine is a noun. We use the al to turn it into an adjective to describe a word. So it's a medicine plant, but in English we say, oh, we're describing what the plant is. It's medicinal, not medicine plants, right? It's medicinal plants. Okay, so let's read what this person has to say, right? So it says this part right here, I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. It says, it's so rewarding to help people understand the value of conservation, sustainable agriculture, and holistic remedies. So I'm going to look up some of these words so we can talk about them, right? So conservation. I'm going to zoom in here. So I'm just on the dictionary online. So let's look up conservation. Ooh, not donservation, conservation. Conservation. So it says preventing of wasteful use of a resource. So when we're, preventing the wasteful use of a resource, it means that you're not, oh, it got dark all of a sudden. Sorry, I can't tell how dark it is in my apartment. So it tells you conservation, to conserve, right? That's the base of the word, right? We have conserve, right? Conservation, conserve. It means to save something, right? To keep it from not being used when it does not need to be, right? Something else really cool about Google Translate is I can choose the language to translate it to. So here's the translation into Spanish. And then let's do Tagalog. It's just there. Maybe they don't have it. Oh, there we go. They have it as Filipino, but Tagalog is the language, right? So these are in Tagalog, and then Swahili. Let's see. That's conservation, right? Okay, so we have conservation, sustainable agriculture. So sustainable, right? We hear that word all the time. Sustainable resources, sustainable. It means that it's something that can be used over and over again, and it won't get used up, and it doesn't hurt other things when you do it, right? So we can use this for things that are not about nature. We can say, I have a sustainable work schedule, right? So sustainable means I can do it, I can keep doing it, it's fine. A unsustainable or not sustainable work schedule would be when you are so tired every day, right? Because you work 16 hours and then the next day you have to come in again, right? That's not sustainable, right? Because you don't get enough sleep, you don't get enough time at home, right? So it isn't sustainable. So you can use this word for things that aren't about nature, right? So you can say to your boss, you can say, I'm sorry, my work schedule right now is not sustainable, right? Not sustainable. It doesn't, I can't keep going like this, right? So you can use that to talk to people, right? This isn't sustainable. Or you're talking to your friend who is driving 2 hours to get to a job and 2 hours to come back. You could say, this is not sustainable. You cannot keep doing this because it's not helping you, it's hurting, right? It's using up things and not putting anything back, if that makes sense. So sustainable agriculture is like farming. farming that doesn't harm things, right? And then the last part is holistic remedies, right? Holistic. Now, holistic is kind of a weird word. It's used interestingly in English. Okay, so you'll see that in the definition, there's a philosophy definition, and then there's a medicine. So let's look at the medicine one. Characterized by the treatment of the whole person, taking into account mental and social factors rather than just the symptoms of a disease. So that's just saying, oh, when you say holistic medicine, holistic, what does it say? Holistic remedies. It's looking at the larger picture and how everything is connected, rather than focusing on one part and saying, oh, you do this to fix this one thing, right? So a holistic remedy is saying, okay, we're going to look at the whole picture, how everything is connected, right? And this is Grace Gobo or Gabo, who is the person that is saying this, right? Okay, so we're going to see, we're going to read, actually. It says, a remedy is something we use when we are sick. Match the remedy to the illness. So let's do this really quick. Okay, so this will be interesting. Actually, let me get rid of this so I can zoom in a bit more. Okay, so we're going to talk about some remedies or holistic remedies, right? These look like holistic, meaning you're not just taking a medicine, a pill or something that treats the one symptom. You're taking something that can help it all, right? So whether or not these actually work, we don't know, but drinking water very fast is a remedy. Take honey is a remedy. Drink homemade ginger tea is a remedy. Put heat on the belly. And the symptoms, the sickness, the illness is a cough, stomachache, hiccups, and headaches. Now, I've heard that if you drink water very fast, it helps with hiccups. Don't know why. Whether or not it is true, we don't know. Okay. Now, the next one. I'm not quite sure because what do you take honey for? Do you take honey for a stomachache, a cough, or a headache, right? So I usually put something hot on my head for headaches. But a stomachache, I've heard that you can do ginger. A ginger helps your tummy feel better. You can take honey with a cough, and then you can put heat on your belly for headaches, or maybe you do that for stomach aches. I'm not sure why putting heat on your belly would help with the headache, but I don't know. So this, not sure how true these are, but it's what we're reading. So it says, read the title of the paragraph. What do you think it is about? Tell the group, right? So let's look at where is it? Hold on. There's a whole story that I had up here. Hold on 1 second. Let me see if I saved it somewhere else. 1 second, 1 second. Why is this happening? No. Oh dear, oh dear. Sometimes I don't know why this happens. There we go. There we go, there we go, there we go. Okay, let me flip this around and let me share my screen with you. Sorry. Okay, so what we're going to share now is we're going to read this and we're going to figure out what we think it is. Plants and medicine. What do we think this is about? Do we think this is about plants as medicine? Plants we use for medicine? Well, let's go ahead and read it together. Okay. So hopefully this isn't too tiny on your screen. And if it is, you can just listen to me read. So it says, Grace Gobo wants to help sick people. She lives in Tanzania. Medicine is very expensive there. Traditional healers help people who are ill. Traditional healers find less expensive medicines for chest problems, stomach aches, coughs, and many other illnesses and symptoms. These medicines come from plants in the rainforest. Grace wants to share these medicines with her people. She believes people in her country should be healthy and they shouldn't pay a lot of money for medicine. So that's pretty much, a lot of people feel that way, right? We think that people to have medicine to help them get better, they shouldn't, right? They should not pay a lot of money, right? What do you think? What is your opinion? Should people pay lots of money for medicine? Should medicine be something that you have to pay for even? What kind of medicine should be free? What kind of medicine should you need to pay for? Okay, so it says study the paragraph and discover new words. So it says a healer is someone who helps people when they are sick, but they are not always doctors or nurses. What do traditional healers do? So it says they use plants to help sick people. They talk to people about the government. They buy medicine at a pharmacy to help people. So in the paragraph, it says they use plants to help sick people. So tradition, right? Traditional healers. Tradition, right, is when we talk about, right, this is a tradition. It means my mom did it, now I do it, and my children would do it, right? That's what tradition is. When we say a traditional healer, it means that the knowledge, the information that they're using was passed down to them from before them by generation, right? So a traditional healer is somebody that uses information that was passed down. But if somebody says, oh, this is a traditional spaghetti, you may be like, traditional spaghetti, traditional healers, how do they make sense? The word traditional just means passed down, right? So if somebody asks you, oh, this food is so good, where do you get the recipe? How do you know how to make it? You could say, oh, it's a traditional dish. It's a traditional food. I know because people taught me who had people teach them, right? It was passed down, right? So that's what traditional is. Or you could say, this is the traditional clothes of my country, right? The traditional, it means this is how I dress. This is how the people, my mom and dad dressed. This is how their mom and dad dressed, right? The people before them, right? That's traditional. Right? Okay, next word. A forest is a group of trees. What do you think a rainforest is? Which picture is probably a rainforest, and why do you think so? Right? So a forest is a group of trees. So this is a forest, this is a forest, and this is a forest. But what do we think a rainforest looks like, right? So a rainforest to me, right, is this, right? This is a rainforest to me. Because it looks like there's ferns and moss, like it's really wet, right? Because there's rain all the time. This one doesn't look like it rains a lot. And this one looks like it rains, but not enough to cause moss and ferns, right? Okay, and the last part, it says, Grace wants to share the medicine with her people. What do you think share means, and what does she want to do? Read the next sentences in the paragraph to help you. So we can say, oh, well, she wants to share, right? It means to give to other people. She doesn't want to buy medicines for her people. She doesn't want to sell medicine to make money. She wants to teach people, right? She wants to share information about medicines to help people, right? So we know what sharing means, like, please share your food. It means to give some of your food to another person. Please share. Or public transit. I hear this all the time on the tracks and stuff when they say, this is a shared space, shared past tense. It's a shared space. It means you are not the only one that uses it. You share with other people. This person uses it, same thing, right? So you're sharing something, you're using something that other people use, and you're remembering, other people use it, so I'm going to think about them, right? So that means share. So she wants to share traditional medicines with her people. And then this part you can think about or talk about with your family, your friends, your roommate. You can say, okay, what are some medicines that I use And how much do they cost? And we can share the lists, but then you can also talk about home remedies, right? Home remedies, things you use for sickness, for illness. So when I have a cold, a sore throat, when I feel sick, I take ginger root, right? Ginger from the store, not powdered ginger, like the root that you buy at the store next to the onions, right? I buy that. I chop it up really small. I put it in some water. I boil the water, and then it's not super tasty, but I let the water cool off and I drink as much water as I can. And usually that helps me feel a lot better, right? I also drink bone broths when I have a cold. So what is something you do as a home remedy? What do you do when you have a cold, when you have a cough? What do you do when you have a headache or an earache? What is a home remedy, right, that you use? But also, what medicine do you buy when you're sick, and how much does that medicine cost? So that's it for today, and I will see you next time. Bye.